So, good afternoon, everyone. I am Reynald Miramar from Bachelor of Physical Education, second year. So, good afternoon to you, sir, especially to you, sir. I hope you're doing well. So, today we are going to tackle about taking it personally. So, we are going to start. So, first is the introduction. The not my problem myth. Most people agree that climate change and environmental degradation are bad. Of course, yes. Yet, there is a massive gap between awareness and action. So, what is the not my problem myth? So, the not my problem myth is a popular phrasing used in motivational or professional contexts to address the misconception that are can entirely disengage from issues that do not fall under their direct formal responsibility. So, how about the massive gap between awareness and action? So, what is the massive gap between the massive gap between awareness and action in your opinion? So, the massive gap between awareness and action, also known as attitude and behavior or intention or an action gap, is widely studied phenomenon that describes the disconnect between what people know or intend to do and their actual behavior. So that's the massive gap between awareness and action. So the next is the diffusion of responsibility in a world of 8 billion people. It is easy to feel that one person's choices don't matter. The next is the shift. Taking it personally means rejecting the idea that you are too small to make a difference. Is that true, everyone? Do you believe in that? Do you believe in that, saying that you are too small to make a difference? I believe no. It is a realization that global trends are simply the sum of billions of individual decisions. Yes, actually, uh, the diffusion of responsibility in a world of 8 billion people, it is easy to feel that one person's choices don't matter. Like, ang iyong point is, in a world of 8 billion, it is easy to feel that one person. So, ang iyong point is, mas easy na daw ma-feel na ang isa ka person's choice is wala ga matter. Muna siya ipasok sa diffusion of responsibility. But I don't believe that, because every choices of one person give a big impact to everyone. Then the shift is taking premise, rejecting the idea that you are too small to make a difference. No, I believe that, because each and every one of us can make a difference, but in a different way, right? Yes. So next is the psychology of personal connection. Why do we struggle to act? Our brains are wired to reject, to immediate threat, like a car swerving towards us, not slowing, global threats like melting ice caps. So number one, breaking the abstract barrier. To take it personally, we must connect global issues to our local lives. Health. First things first is health. The second is economy. The last is legacy. So we are going to talk about first the health. So health, realizing that air pollution isn't just the atmosphere. It is the air in your lungs. So next is the economy. Understanding that food waste isn't just trash, it's money out of your own pocket. Yes? Yung point is like, ang mga kanang like the food waste na dili lang siya basta-basta trash nga. You just di na makaon, iba na siya i-throw bisag asa or pakaon sa imong animals. Always remember that everything nga na food waste is it's out of your your pocket. So next is the legacy. Considering what kind of environment you want to live in 20 years from now. So of course, in legacy, you're nagunaw na ka nga unsa imong mapuy-an sa world in 20 years from now. So nakamay na ka sa imong future. So next is the emotional investment or eco empathy. When we care about a specific place, a local park, a beach, or a hiking trail, we are more likely to defend it. Personalizing sustainability often starts with falling in love with a piece of nature. So that's the emotional investment or eco-empathy. So next is from consumer to steward. The first thing first is the power of the purchase. Every dollar spent is a vote for how a product is made. Taking it personally means asking, do I want my money supporting this company practices? So next is the individual agency. It moves us from a victim mindset that world is ending to an agent mindset. I am part of the solution. So the next part is the fourth. So the fourth is the ripple effect. Why it matters. Critics often say individual action is a distraction from corporate or government irresponsibility. However, personal action is the engine for systemic change. So, I have three systemic change here. So first is cultural normalization. When you carry a reusable bag or reduced meat intake, you make it normal for those around you. So next is a market demand. Corporations only change their green policies when personal consumer habits shift. Next is political pressure. Governments act when a critical mass of individuals takes it personally and demand change. So that's it. So the last part is the conclusion. Taking it personally isn't about carrying the guilt of the world on your shoulders. It's about integrity. It's about ensuring that your private actions align with your public values. When we stop looking for someone else to save the planet and start looking at our own habits, we move from being bystanders from being leaders. The great also, I have saying here from Robert Swan, the greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone will save it. Do you believe in that? By Robert Swan. Okay. So next is we are going to talk about setting sustainable goals. So first is the importance of goal setting. The importance of goal setting. Without specific goals, sustainability efforts often suffer from action drift, where people do small random acts like high energy consumption. Goals provide accountability, prioritization, motivation. So first is the accountability, a way to track progress. Next is prioritization, focusing on big wins rather than small, distracting tasks. Motivation, the psychological win of reaching a milestone. So the next is the framework, SMART, sustainability. So the most effective way to set this goal is using the SMART criteria. Applying this specifically of the environment look like this. So what is SMART? So from the word SMART, S, specific, M, measurable, A, achievable, R, relevant, and T, time-bound. So first is specific. Instead of I want to save water, say I will reduce my shower time to 5 minutes. So measurable. use numbers. I will reduce my household waste by 20%. So, achievable. Don't try to go zero waste in one day. Start with no single-use plastic bottles. Relevant. Focus on your biggest impact. If you drive a lot, focus on transport goals. Time bound. Set a deadline. I will eliminate fast fusion purchases by December 2025. So the third is key areas for goal setting. I'll hear that category, goal example, and the long-term impact. So first is the waste. The category is waste, and his goal example is achieve a compact-only food waste system, and the long-term impact is diverts methane-producing organic matter from landfills. So the category is energy. Switch to LED bulbs and unplug bumper electronics. That's the goal example, and the long-term impact is reduces carbon footprint and saves money on utility bills. And the consumption is research and buy only from B Corp certified brands. And the long-term impact is use market pressure to force corporations to be better. So, a comprehensive sustainability report usually categorizes goals into three main buckets. So these are the three main buckets: the category, the good example, and the long-term impact. So the fourth one is the concept of sustainable ladder. So it is helpful to view goal setting as a ladder you cannot reach the top without a bottom. So first is level 1, awareness goals. Level 2, reduction goals. Level 3, replacement goals. Level 4, influence goals. So this is the zero waste hierarchy: refuse, rethink, redesign, reduce and reuse, preparation for reuse, recycling, composting, and daily, material and chemical recovery, residuals management, and acceptable. So the last part is the conclusion. Moving from I should to I will. For diba, I should to I will. So the report concludes that the most successful sustainability goals are those that are integrated into daily life rather than treated as extra work by setting clear, measurable targets. We move away from feeling overwhelmed by the global climate crisis and move forward to a sense of personal achievement. So a final thought here is a goal without a plan is just a wish. Sustainability requires a road map. So that's all. Thank you.